Hello, internet, and welcome on Sundays. I forgot the name of the show for a second. Welcome to the Pursuit of the Black Kestrel, our new Pathfinder Second Edition mini series that we're going to be running for the next couple months. We got a lot of familiar faces here and some new people, so we're going to go ahead and kind of do our introductions for our first session here, and everyone say hi. So I don't know what order we're at in the overlay because I don't have the beautiful overlay in front of me right now. Hi, I'm Sean. I'm going to be running this. I'm going to be GMing this Pathfinder game. And yeah, you can find me here all the time. Savannah, why don't you go next?
Me?
Yeah.
Hi,
Tell us your name and I don't know, anything else you think is relevant.
I don't really usually have to do this thing, so
yeah.
I was a bad person to pick. Hi, I'm Savannah. I'm Savvy Seaworth on Twitter and everywhere else. That's really the only place I go. I also mostly exist here on game nights. I run a couple of games. I play in others. So if you want to know what I'm doing, look at what we're doing on GGK.
Alex.
Hello, I'm Alex. OMG, it's some guy on most of the things. Active here on GGK, mostly lurking elsewhere, but if you see me around, yes, oh my god, it's some guy.
LB.
Hi, I'm LB Hackema. You can find me at LB Hackema. I'm here on Sundays. And I do other stuff.
Every one of them.
All Sundays now. RJ?
Hey everybody, I'm RJ. You can catch me at rjustice282 on Twitter and Twitch, and I normally tweet whenever I'm in a game, so check it out there.
And last, bringing up the rear, Barry.
You forgot the not least part. I'm Barry.
And last.
At Dammit Barry on Twitter, Twitch. I think I'm here most times now. They can't get rid of me.
Yeah, we tried.
You begged me to play this game.
Keep calling him other names, hoping that it'll get the message. No, we love you. Yeah. I don't have a lot else to talk about before the game. Like I said, I don't think we have much coming on this week. We just have Tidefall on Wednesday here on GGK, and then we will have Saturday nights next coming Saturday. So come check it out. I run that. It's a D&D 5th edition persistent campaign. We're in our semi-final episode that will be coming up this Saturday. So come check. It's a great time to join. Second to last episode. So come check it out. So what are we doing here today? We are playing a Pathfinder Second Edition adventure that I am that's been created by me, and we are all going to experience for the first time here together. Most of us haven't played Pathfinder 2E before. I need to turn chat beep off because that's going to get really obnoxious very quickly. So we're playing Second Edition. We're going to get started. I'm going to have a little read in here so you can understand like characters. We'll do character introductions, all that good stuff. But yeah, any questions or anything from you guys before we get going? Anything else for the stream? No? All right. Then let us begin. The low thrum of canvas flapping against the crisp morning air rises to a steady beating as the wind picks up along Dock 14. The half-dozen warehouses that line the dock alight with workers straining against pulleys and wheels as they heave against creaking lines swinging branded crates and tightly bound barrels. A worker kicks a fragment of a broken red brick, sending the clay scattering towards the edge of the dock. and out over the cliff's edge, where the stone is quickly swallowed by the swirling purple fog, nearly black as the shadow of the cliff's edge. The cargo is hoisted over the abyss onto the hovering ships, thick wooded vessels with polished hulls carved to pass effortlessly along the howling storms that batter the coast, and held aloft by the bulging canvases of enormous balloons, bound to the ship with thick rope and brightly colored more often than not. The ships bob and sway along with the wind, held in place by chains anchored to the cliff's edge, the internal heat of the inflated bladders distorting the growing light against the chill of the night. At the end of the dock, outside Bay 6, a particularly sleek vessel stilly hovers, undaunted by the morning winds, as if affixed in space. Fresh paint names the ship Pharos, or the Beacon in the Vathan tongue. The last of the cargo descends to the ship's deck as the crew begins to embark. What I'd like to do right now on this, our opening scene here, is introduce the 5 of your characters. You are all on the deck of the ship right now, having stowed your belongings and are prepared for the coming journey. Can I get what I'd like you for all to kind of describe is what your character looks like, what they might be doing on the main deck of the ship as they prepare. And then I'd like you to talk about like kind of the mechanics, your class and all that stuff, and talk about why you have been selected for this expedition, why you're here. Let's do the same order I did before. So Savannah, why don't you go first?
Okay. My character's name is Anais. She is an elf. She's a whisper elven rogue. She is fairly tall, thin, pale skin, those kind of angular elven features, long black hair, long pointed ears, and large glasses that she wears and takes sort of on and off out of boredom when she's not doing anything. She wears a lot of fancy clothes, lots of black, basically all black, but despite this, did not bring very many things onto the ship with her. Let's see. My background. Her background, she is an artist, an art collector, and obsessed with art and wants to have as much of it as possible, hence the rogue part of her personality. She is on this trip because there might be art and artifacts involved, and she sort of keeps an ear to the ground for any kind of expedition like this, and always worms her way on under the guise of being the expert about what is the most valuable and interesting things for them to bring back, and then steals some of it and is never seen again. That's kind of her whole shtick. What else should I say? I don't know. So you were brought on. So Duke Whitney, Duke Welsh Whitney, is the one that hired you all for this expedition. What was the conversation like that got you on this? That brought you on the ship? Were you introduced as a historian or like an expert? Were you introduced as a thief? Does anyone know of your no?
extracurriculars?
I think Anais has run in a lot of the same circles or like adjacent circles as nobility, kind of pitching herself as like knowing a lot about art, which she does. She's very smart, and she does know a lot of the things that she tells people she knows. She's very knowledgeable about it, and she also creates a lot of art, but she sort of uses that as a gateway to get in and then take it. So yeah, I think she probably sort of wormed her way in, maybe with some real credentials, maybe with some fake ones, but sort of as the friend of a friend of a friend who knows a lot about this stuff, and once she gets to the point of being able to actually have the conversation with the person who is hiring, she at least sounds like she knows what she's talking about.
Makes sense. Okay. Trying to think of anything else interesting. No, I think we'll talk more about like class stuff and stuff probably as it comes up in play. So we'll leave more of that for later.
I have a sword. Does that help?
Good. Yes, that does help a lot. Are you Alex? You going by Simon or
Yeah, Simon.
Simone? Simon. Okay.
Yep. So, Simon Skystev is whereas Anais was very tall and graceful, Simon is short, not necessarily stout, but if we're thinking, among halflings, and he's more on the Samwise end of things than Frodo end of things, but he is a cleric to Caden Kylian, who, as far as I can tell, based on the Pathfinder lore, is a dude who partied so hard he became a god. Simon is here as the expedition's medic. He has some field medic experience in the past, but also one of the, sort of main tenets of those who follow his deity, Caden, is, it's all about the love of adventure. So yes, he is here to serve a purpose, but it's almost more so that being the medic is what booked him passage on this expedition, and he's here for the thrill of things and to keep all these other yahoos alive.
So one very important question for Simon is, does he like to party?
Oh yeah, no, it is. There's these things about one of my religious edicts is to drink and seek glory and adventure, and if I waste alcohol, I might lose my powers.
Perfect. That's good to know. I'm actually going to write that down right now because that'll probably come up at some.
Yeah.
Perfect. So you were brought on as the medic. I don't imagine that's a tough sell to get yourself on the ship. Do you see your worship, because we haven't really, this setting is so like open-ended right now. I haven't really come up with much for it as far as religion or anything. Do you see yourself as this worship or this religion that you have as being fairly widespread, or something a little smaller, localized to your like clan or your
no
home?
I think there's probably fairly widespread, though obviously I didn't read all the lore on all the gods, but I imagine while there are some temples and more organized clergy for this deity, Caden Kyleen also has a whole bunch of people who are just like adventuring priests who go out and seek glory and adventure. And that is how they spread the word of... I'm trying to decide if I want to call the god CC instead of Caden Kyleen every time.
You do you. You're defining this religion right now for me.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, basically they just want to go around, make sure everyone's having a good time, and also aiding the oppressed and freeing slaves if they come across them. That is another one of the religious edicts.
perfect. Awesome. Okay. LB.
Hello. I'm playing Zarine Valendur. Valendur. I have to say it right every time. She is a human. She has ginger-colored hair. She walks on the ship with an air of prestige and feeling like she's better than everyone else. She is wearing clothing that that one might find at like nowadays you might find it at a party store, like what a person on a ship, like a pirate would wear. It's very nice, but it is very like cliche. What one would, who's never been on a ship, thinks that people who are on a ship would wear, but very nice. She has 3 piercings on her lower lip, that are silver studs, and she has very dark makeup on. Her hair has been, done. It's tied back in a braid, but the back is free falling, and it comes down to about her waist. She looks very pale and very dainty, as if she's never done a day's work in her life. And she is on this ship because she was the one who secured payment for the passage. I don't know if everyone would know this, but she is soon to be the daughter-in-law of the Duke. So she is engaged to his son. And she's just tagging along. She doesn't bring her own stuff on board, nor does she lift a finger in any way at this point. She's probably yelling at her brother to place things in a certain way. She's probably sitting on the deck with her feet up, either reading a book or just like, no, that shouldn't go there, put it over there, sort of.
That's great. So I want to talk a little bit about this arrangement that got you onto the ship, because like you said, you secured the funding for it. Do you see yourself as it like, because you said not everybody knows this, are you trying to like play yourself off as I'm just one of the crew? Are you going to sleep in the main galley with the rest of the crewmen, or are you like, I'm here but I'm different than the rest of you?
I think it's more of the latter, but she, in her mind, I'm one of the crew, I'm part of this group, but she's not going to actually do anything to be a part of the crew. She just like, I have paid to be part of this crew, therefore I am part of this crew.
Okay. That's good to know. We'll deal with sleeping arrangements later on, because that's going to be a big, I think, point of contention too. Okay, great. I'm sure I'll have more questions later. So since you did mention your brother, let's just go ahead and do Barry. What you got?
I am, as you may have guessed, that person's brother. So my name's Xander, and I think it's Valander. I don't know. I didn't come up with that last name.
I assume at some point you're gonna have to learn how to pronounce it, though.
Well, my sister is all, my class is better than yours, I'm more noble, I deserve the respect. I am the complete opposite. I am a ranger, so I've been out in the wild a fair bit, and I know that class means nothing to your general creatures. They see food, they're like, oh, noble person, better let them go. So yeah, I'm pretty much the opposite, and I believe I probably got into this boat after demanding my way on if they're going to let my sister on there, which she should not be, in my opinion, because she's just not going to work out.
So you're on there, you're on this expedition kind of as your sister's keeper, kind of.
That / I've probably been out the most exploring, being a ranger. And my background is a hunter, so I'm good at tracking things.
So
and
my question, so because I imagine with the experience you have, so do you see yourself as you're here to take care of Zari, but your expertise kind of comes with the package, like they get the benefit of your experience now because you've been
so like on the deck right now, I would probably be chastising my sister, saying I've got things I got to do, like don't yell at everyone, they're working, unlike some people.
I want to assume we'll explore more of their relationship in play. Do you guys have like a contentious relationship to start, or is it like you guys are pretty close?
We're very we're very close, but we're close in the way that like siblings get on each other's nerves. Like I can call him lazy and stupid, but if anyone else does it, they'll get an earful from me, like that sort of thing.
Great.
Oh,
Good to
I
know.
also have a little pet dragon type bird that
That's right. I forgot about that. What's its name?
crow, because
Crow.
it's pretty much a mini Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon.
Okay. Little like pseudo dragon kind of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah. Perfect. And then
I
last
also look like you described me as a 2000s boy
mid
band.
2000s, circa mid 2000s boy band.
Yeah, so I look like a
front
boy
man.
band member.
Yeah, you do. Like
you're
a
a
One
ginger.
Direction. And RJ.
Hey everybody, I'm RJ. I'll be playing Samek, barbarian, half-orc. He has pale green skin with bits of red flecks in them, almost like scales. His hair is cut almost to a buzz, a little bit longer, but the sides are shaved down. And he's wearing like a crew member outfit, like leathers and greens and blacks. He's originally part of Alexandra Leon's crew, but he was recommended for the trip as part of the ground force in case they have to do any fighting.
Mm-hmm. So you're kind of you're one of the better fighters I've been thinking on this ship. If as like a representation of the crew, you're probably the best fighter, or try to think of a better, more descriptive
Combatant.
word for that. Yeah, combatant. Yeah,
Combatant.
On the ship. So definitely, I would imagine that. Do you see yourself as holding kind of a good point of like esteem amongst the crew? Like you get along with everyone pretty well, or
He's pretty fresh on the crew.
Okay.
Given like a bit of his backstory, I'll talk to you about it later. But yeah, he's pretty fresh on the crew, but he's earned his place.
Okay.
And you could probably see him like solo pulling a like pulley system with like 20 barrels on it, and then like hoisting it onto the ship.
Nice. So strong boy. So the the dynamic here is, so the four of you, with the exception of Samek, were brought on as sort of outside assistants. The rest of the crew was originally part of Alexandra Leon's, or Captain Leon's company. She has her own ship and her own kind of transport and her own kind of business, but she has been hired specifically, given a newly commissioned vessel, brought on the best of her crew, and some outside hires to kind of help with this. You guys were all hired by Duke Whitney, and have had minimal experience dealing with Captain Leon, with the exception of Samek, who I think knows Captain Leon much better. With that in mind, change up the music here a little bit. Let's do... Yeah, let's do that. As you're all milling about, working, whatever you might be doing aboard on the main deck of the Pharos, the doors of the captain's cabin crash open, causing everyone to scatter and stop what they're doing. And striding out in a flurry of scarlet and black leather, swirling amidst a pungent odor of tobacco, comes Captain Alexandra Drake. The Scarlet Storm bounds up the steps to the quarter deck, leans out over the railing next to the ship's wheel with a wide grip, sleeves rolled back past the elbows, revealing an intricate interweaving of multicolored tattoos. Quiet now and listen good. As you right know, this here expedition has been provided for by the great Lord Whitney, and I expect you to give that fact due reverence aboard my ship, savvy? She tucks a hand behind her back and flourishes a black leather-bound journal with her left hand. This here is our ticket, the journal of the notorious pirate Crimson Drake. May the fog have him. A few members of the crew spit at the mention of this name. Now, this book is going to lead us to the very heart of this bastard's fortune. and we're gonna come home richer than kings. So eyes up, let's ride the winds. The crew lets out a whoop and hurriedly sets about to adjust the rigging and cast off. Within minutes, in this rush, a sharp rattle of metal. There is a sharp rattle of metal as the anchor chain is detached from the cliff, and the ship drifts out into the open air towards the dawning sun. In turn, the captain makes eye contact with each of the 5 of you and motions for you to follow as she returns to her quarters.
I probably hand the rope off to somebody to the side, and they go like shooting upward.
There's just like a crash of some crates as they were about like 10 feet off the ground, impact the deck, as some poor young deckhand is kind of like swinging from it, like, help!
Sorry.
A few of the other crew come rushing up to try to help the poor lad.
Dari is going to glance at her brother, roll her eyes, and follow.
Just sigh, shake my head, and just pinch the brow of my nose and just walk in. And, it's gonna be a long trip.
Simon stoppers the flask he was drinking from and follows in with everyone else.
I go in as well.
Oh, you're still
Give me
muted,
a
Savannah.
No.
Oh, there you go.
Don't know why it's doing this.
Yeah.
I follow everyone else in.
Okay.
Looking, I guess, more happy to be here than everyone else in the room.
Yeah.
Just generally pleased.
You enter the great cabin, or the captain's cabin of the Pharos, and get your first look at, well, most of you, your first look at Captain Leon's quarters. And there is, you get that smell again of a very hearty tobacco smell that sort of permeates the room. There are some draperies and some silks and other fine things that are layered across the windows upon the aft portion of the room, but otherwise it's a fairly utilitarian space. There are some bookshelves lined with books that are cordoned off with rope to keep them from falling during the ship's passage. There are tables and chairs that are nailed to the floor around a wide circular table, with maps and books and ledgers and all sorts of captain-y things littered across it. On the far side of the room is the personal quarters, a set of doors leading into a bed chamber, partially open. You can see the matted and messy remains of a pillow top mattress, blankets and other furnishings of it littered across the floor. It's a fairly messy space. But you can tell she does a lot of her work here in planning your voyage. Captain Leon is standing across from this wide circular table at the center of the room, and as you all enter, motions, Sama, can you close the door, please?
I'm close it with the shoulder.
I appreciate you all being here so early. I was afraid some of you might not make it. She gives a pointed eye or pointed glance at Zari. I figured we should share a bit more details with the 5 of you, considering you'll have the most to say in this upcoming voyage. 4 of you having been granted position in this expedition for your services by Lord Whitney. And Samak here, who you'll get to know in time, is one of my most trusted crewmen, and I think he'll do a fine job of keeping you from dying along the way.
I make no promises, miss.
I'm sure he'll do your best.
Where he fails, I will keep you alive. That is my job.
I'll let you all make introductions in your own time. Right now, need to tell you a bit more about the journey, things that I can't tell the rest of the crew. She motions to the ledgers and the books that are littered across the table, and some you can see there are some like firsthand accounts written in scribbled cursive and some maps with markings on them indicating different island chains that have been crossed off. A lot of work that's been put into this. And she says, as I said out there, this expedition, as most of you probably know at this point, is for the purpose of securing the treasure of the notorious farmer pirate Crimson Drake. More specifically, we're here to recover a specific item, which beyond all the other treasure that we might find along the way, is the purpose of this expedition, what we've been so generously funded here to accomplish. She unrolls opens up a book, and you see a diagram of a gemstone drawn across the inner pages of it, shaded black, a beautifully cut piece. Even the artist seeming to have given it a lot of gravitas as to the pure sort of ebony coloring of this piece, even going so far as to shade the area around it, giving this impression of it sort of drawing in the light of the surrounding space. She says, "The Heart of Death. Any of you heard of it?"
Have any of us heard of it?
Are any of you proficient in is history a thing?
It would be a war spell.
Lore, I think.
Lore. I'm so used to 5th edition. This is gonna take a while. Lore. Yeah. So it'd be a lore check. I think is a. If you have any specific, there are specific lore skills. I don't know if you have.
Yeah.
If you guys have any specific ones that might apply.
I have art lore. I also have occultism, if that counts as
I
something.
think occultism would probably be a little more on the line here.
Okay.
Got it.
Is it? Okay, you do that one too. Is it Zari or Zeri?
Zari.
Okay, Zari. Did you say you had something or?
I have lore genealogy, but I also have arcana if it is arcana.
Arcana would be appropriate too. So 2 for occultism, 1 for arcana. You guys can roll.
I'm sitting here trying to find it, and then I go, the alphabet. Hey.
I was muted this entire time. I'm also trained in occultism.
Oh, perfect.
We are gonna
If
know.
it was leather, I'd
so
be able to do tanning low, but it's not.
Okay. This is the first roll with this made this game. I'm just, when you guys make your roll, the order you made it in, just call out the numbers that you have, and specifically for things like lore, let me know which one you're rolling for, so I know what information you got.
I got an 8.
Okay.
I got a 12. My occultism and arcana are the same.
Okay.
I got a 21 for occultism.
Okay.
I too got a 12 for occultism.
12 for occultism. Okay. So for Zari, with the 8, I think you're a little bit distracted by the book and the art at that moment. I think you have heard the name before, and I think it's a name that any of you with training are familiar with. I think it's too famous for you to not, if you are trained in it. So you are familiar with the gemstone. You've heard of it. Used in either in whatever kind of circles you run in, whether it would be something more related to art or just in historical text. It is a very old piece. Those of you with the 12s, I think both of you were holding occultism. You're familiar a little bit more with the piece. I think you know that the Heart of Death is a rather ancient gemstone. No one really knows its exact history, where it came from, what craftsman first worked it, or I don't think of the work for gems, but is responsible for it. But you know that it's popped up along the way. And there are rumors that it is cursed. With the 21, I need the pronunciation of your name one more time, Savannah.
It's Anais.
Anais. Okay. I'm gonna get these eventually. Anais, you are much more familiar with this. I'd like for you to give me a little bit of insight as maybe how you with the 21, where you think you got this knowledge. Do you think you were like casing a job, like looking for this thing, or do you think this is something where you just came across it in passing, reading up on something else?
I think both. I think probably while doing some collecting, which is what I'm gonna call it. It probably came up at some point in the research that I was doing, and probably the more that she read about it, the more she has been, I don't know, like actively looking for it, but I think keeping an eye out for those like connective threads.
Okay.
It's very shiny. She's got like diamonds in her eyes, I think, looking at the drawing. Also, I'm an artist. Is the drawing good? It sounded good.
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
very good drawing. I think it's more, it's more of like a scientific journal, like something that somebody that was just trying to capture the essence of the thing. It's not overly artistic, but it's a fairly realistic sketching, as far as you can tell, having never seen the gemstone before.
I have no follow-up to that. I think she's just judgy.
But with your 21, I think you know a little bit more about the history of this in your researching, because I think at some point you were looking for this, thinking, oh, that might be a good take. This gemstone is valued to be worth some small kingdoms in value. It is a very precious and very highly sought after item. And it was last held by a king far to the west had brought it into their possession. It had been stolen by bandits when their home, when their castle was attacked and raided, disappeared for a while after that, turned back up in auction in the capital many years later, where it was purchased by a noble of some esteem, who spent a great fortune trying to secure the item. They hadn't been sure of its authenticity because it had been passed through so many disreputable hands, but somewhere along its passage, it was stolen by pirates. And there it made its hands into the notorious, maybe as notorious as the gem itself, Crimson Drake. And then it was never seen again. But you also get that same knowledge of it being involved in a lot of occult rituals, has a lot of occult significance to some religious organizations. They attribute its origin to some divine being. Any follow-up questions from any of you after that? I assume you all nod as she asks if you've heard of it.
No.
That had.
It's a rock.
Yeah. With the exception of Xander. The rest of you nod slowly. Your own machinations coming to mind. She says, well, that'll make things easier then. As I said, we're here to recover this item specifically, so by any means, we're going to find this. That being said, we have a good clue, a lead, the journal of Captain Drake, which will hopefully lead us in the direction of his last known whereabouts. The journal itself, the fragments of it wasn't recovered in Hull, implies that Drake would often visit a port about a week's journey from here. Port Prodatus. It's not not a very reputable place. I doubt many of you have ever been there before. Known for known haven for smugglers and the like. Drake would often make weigh anchor there, or make rest there. Anchor doesn't really make sense in this setting because there's no water. Between his travels. And the journal itself references visiting someone named Istas. We need to find this individual, hopefully point us in the direction of Drake's last known whereabouts and why he went missing. So, that's our goal. Travel to Port Prodatus, find Istas, and hopefully gain some insight into the last location of the Black Kestrel.
Wonderful. Might I be able to read that book? Just so we can get more insight. Perhaps I noticed something that you don't.
Afraid that's not part of the deal. See, I secured this through very trying means, and I don't want anyone running off with it.
Oh, well, I mean, we're going to be on a ship. And, you wouldn't be going on this adventure if it wasn't for me anyway. So I'm just thinking it might be a good idea.
Make a persuasion check. Or what's it in this?
Diplomacy?
Diplomacy is a good one. I've got the list here. I just stopped looking at
fine.
it as soon as we get into the thing. Yeah, diplomacy I think works.
21.
You see her shoulders kind of hunch up at the idea of somebody having leverage with her on her own ship. And you can see the bit of color coming to her face, and then she sighs and says, I think I can arrange something.
I don't mind if you are in the room when it happens. I just, love to give my own insight into what we're doing and perhaps find something different that you have not.
Well, how about this? I'm sure you're all tired. Get your sea legs and all, air legs. I'm trying to figure out the right vernacular for this setting. Trying to gain your bearings here. How about this? Take the evening. Get yourself acquainted with the crew. Tomorrow, we'll do a private viewing.
Thank you. And she gives a curtsy. It's not sassy to her, but it is to everyone else.
Yeah. Just so. Any other questions then? Well, as I said. Oh.
Will you be having dinner up here or down in the hold with everyone else?
I think I'll take my provisions in my quarters tonight. You can have Cook send them up.
Aye, Captain.
Well, you're all dismissed then.
I'll leave after my sister and I'll apologize on her behalf. I'm sorry. But yeah, everyone would notice roughly if I'm not talking to her, I'm a lot more laid back and casual. But she just grinds everything. It's the first time she's seen me work, like actually outside of being a kid.
So you stick behind as everyone else is leaving and just kind of mouth like I'm sorry, or how does that work? I want to see a little bit of how you bend that bridge.
She didn't leave the house much. I'm just sorry, but she'll be fine. Trust me. I'll keep her under control.
She's got a bit of a tongue on her.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Also, do we have any spare clothes? Because I'm pretty certain that's the least elegant thing she's got, and we're up to this port. We're in trouble.
I'm sure someone in the crew might have something to share if the need arises.
Oh, thank God.
Now get out to my cabin.
Okay, but my family did secure funding for this voyage.
Do you actually say that? Or
I'll mutter it as I leave. No need to be rude. I'm still a noble.
You just hear on the other side of the door, fucking nobles.
Did he wait to say all this until we all left?
I'm assuming that he was the last to leave. But you're all on the other side of the door.
Because if so, I'm hanging out like right on the other side of the door listening to this.
Okay.
I'll hide.
So when I leave, it's like, oh, hello.
I don't think you had to. Nobody's going to stop you. But you're all on the deck and can do what you want. I don't know if you guys want to introduce yourselves to each other or anything. I'll give you a couple of a little bit of settings. So you have the ship itself, this main deck where the crew is working. You have the hold underneath where a lot of the ship's provisions are being held, as well as the galley for the crew's quarters, and also where they eat. They set up their hammocks at night down there between some of the support beams and the cannons on the ship to rest, and it's a very public space. I don't think anyone has any private rooms except, I guess, for Zari. But I don't think it's actually a room. I think they just hang some curtains in one corner and give you a little 5x5 privacy corner for your modesty. And the rest of you sleeping out with the rest of the crew. There are a couple of people that you can probably seen and been introduced to at this point. There is obviously Captain Leon. Harvell Jones is the first mate of the ship, responsible for most of the operating of the vessel, keeps the crew in line, all that good stuff. He is an older elven man, kind of matted blonde hair, scarred faced, very experienced, has this kind of air about him of somebody who has spent his entire life at sea, but gives off a very pungent scent of rum, indicating he spends a lot of time in the drink. And then there's Cook, who is the cook. They are a orc gentleman and deals with the food. Very kindly person who is well respected, it seems like, by the rest of the crew. And then there's about 12 other crew hands on the ship. So, anything you guys want to do?
Give the first mate a heads up about my sister and be like, any issues, just come to me. I'll deal with it. She can be a bit entitled, is probably the best word.
Sort of, I think you're down in the galley and some of the crew are walking around as it's the ones that are not currently on shift up on the main deck. Some of them try to get some sleep, others that are playing cards and rolling dice. He's leaning up against the side of the probably the bulkhead and says, "We're not gonna have a problem, are we?"
None of you expect her to do anything.
Trust me. When I heard we were going to have 2 nobles on the ship, I wasn't really expecting any additional hands.
Oh, this isn't my first time on a ship, so you tell me what you need done, I'll get done. I'm not noble per se. I'm noble by blood, not by actions.
So you've served on a ship before?
A few.
Good to know. I'll see what Captain Leon wants us to do about that. I mean, you've got your own duties here, I'm assuming, once we get further in this expedition. So if I'm shorthanded, I'll let you know. Just keep your sister out of the way.
Easier said than done. Just give her a mirror and she'll just.
I haven't had to flog any of the crew for a while, so
She'll probably enjoy it. So don't. That's my sister. Just don't. I'm just gonna leave now.
he pulls up a bottle from behind him and just takes a big drink out of it as you walk away. I think also says, "Fucking nobles." Okay, so do that. Anybody else have anything specifically they want to do? Any introductory scenes you guys want to have with each other?
I'm just very casually introducing myself to everybody. Anise is just very excited to be here in general.
I think she catches Samek as he's walking out the galley door, giving Cook the order, and she just goes, hi.
Hi.
Welcome to the ship, I guess.
Thank you. It's seems like a lovely place to be.
It's newer than the last one, but hey, not complaining.
What happened to the last one?
I think it was just recommissioned, right? The ship? Or
Yeah.
had
Yeah, it's running its usual route. It's still in commission. You guys, this is just a new vessel for specifically for this expedition.
just a new vessel for the expedition. A lot less rats, so that's a plus.
A comforting thought.
I'd take the top hammocks if I were you.
Good to know.
And he'll give her a wink as he goes off to do his job.
And the winks have started.
I can't believe it wasn't me that started them.
Okay, awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Simon is just immediately trying to insert himself. Sounds like too rude, but is trying to join in on the card game and the dice games and stuff, and join what little revelry there is. The people on the off shifts.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think they. I'm trying to think of if I want you to make a check for friendship. I do. I think there is.
Yeah, make an impression.
Yes.
Diplomacy, right?
You need to pull that up. Yeah, it's under diplomacy. Or no.
Thank you, Brown. Strangely, Brown has talked about it.
Oh.
Right.
Let's see.
Roll diplomacy for it.
Okay.
Make an impression.
That seems to imply that NPCs have actual scores of how much they feel about us.
Yeah.
By the end of this expedition, Simon's going to be ready to. He's going to have max affection with all the crew members. Be able to go down any route he wants.
Yeah. Yeah. So go to roll. Try to pull up the description.
All right,
for that.
that's pretty good. That's an 18.
Oh, yeah, that's very good. Let me see. This is a big old book, guys. There's lots of stuff here. Does chat have a page number for making?
Oh,
there it is.
geez.
Oh, I found it. 246. All right, there we go.
I'm gonna
Uh,
start offering extra XP in the chat for them to send us page numbers and stuff.
for people to send me page numbers. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. So with at least 1 minute conversation during which time you engage in during which you engage in charismatic overtures, flattery, and other acts of goodwill, you seem to make a good impression on someone to make them temporarily agreeable. At the end of the conversation, attempt a diplomacy check against the will DC of one target. So 18. Just going by a basic, what I'd consider a basic difficulty here for this, I think that is going to be a success against the crew. So you sit down with these 3 crew members who are playing cards. And I think they're probably a little bit of resistant. Break me off a piece of how you sort of endear yourself to this these crew members.
So I think Simon would, if there is an empty chair, because if there are 3, there's probably a 4th at another side. He will just kind of plop himself down and be, "Hello, my friends. Have you heard of the good word of Kate and Kylene? Now, I know what you might be thinking, but have you heard the stories of him?" And just go into the whole spiel about this dude is the party god.
I think one of them goes, "Right, I knew a bloke that did something with that. There was wasn't there a temple at the last port?" And the guy, one of the guys across who's playing dice says, "Yeah, Jameson. I remember went into this this temple looking to get patched up. Had a bit of I was gonna say gangrene. That's too much. Had a bit of a stomach bug. Couldn't shake it. Anyway, came back out rip roaring drunk. Said they were just throwing stuff at him. Good people there."
Yes, the drinks are usually included in the other services, but we like to make sure people have a good time, yes?
Yeah, and I'd say one of the lady across from him throws down a card and says, "You didn't happen to bring anything with you to share by chance?"
Would I be a cleric in Kate and Kylene's service if I didn't? And it's gonna pull out 3 flasks and hand one to each of them.
Now that's what I'm talking about. And they take some drinks. I would give you an advantage if you needed it. You rolled well enough on that. So awesome. Yeah. You endear yourself to the crew members, and I think they are generally, I think it spreads amongst it's a small crew. So generally they're friendly towards you and the next over the next evening and in the days to come. So
And if any of the other party members come by, I'll try and be like, "Hey, would you like to join us for a hand?"
Yeah,
Okay.
Zari will definitely stand by listening and watching the game and trying to understand the cards or whatever it is they're playing. And at some point, maybe once she's figured out the system, she'll step in and try to play.
Okay, so Ennis and Zari come to step in to play some cards. I think some drinks have been had, and one of the crew members probably busts out their allotment for the crew of drink for this week, and are passing down a jug. And as the 2 of you sit down, I think they eye you a bit of suspicion. I think with your Simon, with your new hospitality amongst the crew, they're a bit welcoming, but that doesn't carry over so much with Zari, I think, at this point, because they saw how you were acting on the deck of the ship. So one of the as they deal it out says, have you played cards before?
Oh, I've played cards, but I've never played this kind of cards. It looks very interesting.
Hey, this is the Devil's Gambit. I'll explain the rules as we go.
Thank you. Very kind.
And they kind of explain the rules and says, and you see it's sort of like a poker-ish game, and they don't really bet any money, but they do bet like duties on the ship and chores and other things like that. Do you engage in the betting?
Sure. I think I'm going to try and gauge these gentlemen's desires, as in would like if Zari perhaps chose to play strip poker instead of for chores, would they be inclined to take that bet? So if I lose, I take off a piece of clothing. If you lose, you have to do that person's chores or whatever. Or you have to do something for me.
I guess this would be like a sense motives or a... Yeah.
I'm wondering if I can do a deception, because Zari would have held back until she figured out the game. So she's trying to hustle them to do things for her.
Okay. Yeah, I think so. You're kind of moving forward with the assumption that this is something that will interest at least some of the people there.
Yeah.
And trying to. Okay, I'm good with that. Yeah, deception works.
Okay. Ugh, 11. I did not roll very well.
Okay, so my question is, Zari is good at card? You think that they are?
I think that they're good at lying.
Good at lying, generally.
Yeah, generally. When I don't roll a 5.
I think. I'm gonna roll a DC for this one because I don't know if they'll all pick up on it or not. So I think a few of them eye you suspiciously at this request, and fold and say, I think I've had enough for tonight. And two others, the woman who is passing around the drinks, and one of the gentlemen that was initially speaking with Simon, stay. We're in a nice small group, so the two of the crew members, Simon is there. Annie, I assume you're gonna stay and play. If it's up to you.
Yeah, I think she's been like sitting back watching this happen, and then will sort of go along. She's going along with whatever the crew wants to do, because I think she wants to make them comfortable with her presence.
Okay.
For no nefarious motive.
I'll ask you guys this because you guys have made your sheets. Are there passive skills like there are in 5th edition, or is it like a is that a thing in this game? I'm trying to figure out who.
I don't think so.
I can pick it up in a sec.
Yeah. Either way, we're gonna push forward this. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna play through this game because the two crew members, the lady says, "Oh, this would be too good not to stick around far," and begins to deal out the cards, and you guys begin to play a few hands. So we will do it'll be deception checks, because that's really the only applicable skill I think to poker, unless somebody has like sleight of hand and wants to cheat. Deception is going to be your go-to.
Okay.
I guess
a deception for the first.
It's going to be one check. This is going to determine all the marbles here.
22.
Nice. Ennis and Simon.
Got a 15.
Can I try thievery?
You can try thievery.
Oh man, I'm gonna regret this if it goes bad.
Woo!
23.
Let's see. Actually, I was looking because stealth. Are you also proficient in stealth? I assume.
Yeah, it's the same.
Okay, yeah, it would be the same because I was looking in the stealth is there is a conceal an object or hide a light small object that might be more appropriate, but I think either way it's the same check.
Yeah,
so,
it's the same number for
20.
me. It's a +7.
What was your roll?
20. I was 22. She's 23.
22, 23. Okay.
We're gonna own this ship like tomorrow.
Yeah. So I think, and I'm gonna roll for the crew members too. I need to make myself some macros, but I'm just gonna roll d20. I'm just gonna make it a flat roll for their general ability. Nope, I just rolled a 20. That's not a thing.
Rolling 20.
That's me doing my attack rolls.
Yeah.
I didn't
Okay,
know
they
we were
rolled
allowed
10.
to just type whatever number we wanted.
Yeah, right.
I got a 20.
I rolled a 70.
So 10s for them. I think the crew loses out entirely. So
Who owes
by
me
the
favors?
so by the end of this, I think Ananias comes out on top. I think Zara, you end this mostly clothed. Probably take off a scarf or one of the ridiculous outer layers that you had at some point. Simon, I think you break even. The crew is basically in your service for the next 3 days, and having to do whatever you want because of how much they've lost, just miserably. So how much you want to cash in on that for the voyage is up to you. But you have succeeded, and everybody's drunk and they're laughing, and I don't think they take it like poorly.
I think for the duration of this, and they did so well, I think I am trying to be as like good spirited about it as possible, like not be a jerk, and then also probably like talking up Zareen the whole time.
Like making me look good?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Zari appreciates it. Her mean girl attitude lowers for you slightly. You've gone from nerd to possibly could be on the cool list.
I'll take it.
And Simon, you're still in the good graces of the crew. They enjoy your company, especially since you didn't just hustle them. So yeah, you have a good time with them. Samek and Xander, are there anything that do you want to have any cool guy conversations in the corner of the room while this game's going on, or
Samek probably came down from his shift, walked over to the table, looked at the cards, shook his head at his crewmates, picked up like a random tankard from the table, and walked to his like hammock.
I love it.
I would have tried making conversation with this guy who's just walked in and grabbed a tankard. Just be fun. Be like, they're about to get hustled. You don't try and
did get hustled.
Yeah, I learned growing up not to challenge my sister in any form of bet. So.
Noted. I don't think we've been properly introduced. Samek, and he'll extend a hand out.
I'll reciprocate that hand out in whatever, like that little picture with Arnie and the other guy from Predator. And just,
yeah, the ship shakes and the effect.
And Xander sees that for both of Samek's hands, there's like just cloth wraps going from finger all the way up to like his elbow.
I'm not going to ask about that because that seems a bit personal. Be like, hey, I just met you. What the?
You're a bit rude. First conversation.
Yeah. I'm not my sister.
I assume that's something. Is that something that Samek always is wearing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So how are you enjoying it here on the ship so far?
It's been a day or a couple of hours. I don't know how long we've been. How long we've been on the ship for?
It's been about a day now. It's been a full day of travel.
Well, hopefully it's clear sailing all the way to where we need to go. Good luck to all of you if there's a storm. And he'll give him a toothy smile.
Wouldn't be my first storm.
Would it be your first storm on an airship?
No. I've traveled, and I'll get really defensive about this. Like, just because I'm not a commoner doesn't mean I haven't traveled.
No, I didn't mean any offense by it. I'm just saying.
Just assumes because you're a noble. Touchy subject.
For you?
No. I'll just walk off to my bed.
He'll look over to like another crewmate and just go, "Is it something I said?"
Fucking nobles, man.
Raises the tankard, cheers them.
And we get the scene of this initial interactions of all of you as you head off to rest or drunkenly fall into a slump off against one side of the ship. The crew that has been working the day now coming down for the evening, the rest going up for their night shifts, beginning to crawl into some of the hammocks to rest. Zari closing off your little curtain room on the other side of the ship. The rest of you finding whatever rest you can. I don't know how comfortable all of you are sleeping in hammocks and on the gently swinging, rocking sway of the ship.
Before Zari goes to bed, she's going to make a little phone call. Behind her curtain, people can only hear muttering, but she's gonna say a little prayer and use her chalice to give a little sacrifice, and then go to sleep.
Okay. Is this? We don't need to get too much into it, but is this like your own blood, or did you just like find a rat somewhere on the ship that you just murdered?
I mean, if I could find a rat, then I'd use a rat, but if not, then I'd just do a little finger prick.
Okay, we'll do that today, and we'll figure out. I assume the rat problem is going to be won't be in existence during this voyage because they just disappear.
I am terrified by the prospect of rats on sky ships.
Hey,
are they sky rats?
Flying rats.
They've got wings.
No, I actually think so. We haven't gotten too much into the ecology of of Bathus, but the creatures and kind of rodents that you would deal with typically would be of the Cavar. There's a word. There's a science word that I was looking for. But so they'd be like bugs, pretty much, large bugs. Yeah.
I was just imagining like fantasy pigeons, but this is better.
Yeah. Which, that being said, you all head off to rest. The sun setting, the ship gliding through the clouds as that swirling purple fog rolls deep beneath you, this perpetual chasm that the ship is spanning, and your travel to in your expedition to search for the Black Kestrel. We are going to go ahead and take our break right now, and we will come back for the second half of our session in a few minutes. So stick around. We'll be back soon for the continuation of our game. So stay tuned. And welcome back, Internet. Thank you for joining us and sticking around during our break. We're here playing some Pathfinder 2nd Edition. Sorry, I took too big of a drink of Diet Dr. Pepper, and now I am trying to keep from belching on stream.
But you're also incredibly refreshed. Just waiting
Incredibly
on that
refreshed by
sponsorship.
by the delicious taste of Diet Dr. Pepper. What's their thing? Little sweet. I'm not going to go any further than that. Anyway, thanks for hanging out. So you have all had your first day aboard the Pharos. Gotten to know your crew a little bit. Getting your air legs, as it be. I'll give one last call out before I move on to the next day if there was anything that we didn't get to in our first half of the session. It seemed like everyone got to introduce themselves a bit and got to
I was like,
explore.
so I'd probably take the hammock closest to my sister's room just to make sure no sailor dude tries to make a move on my sister.
Okay, sounds good.
I know what these sailors are like.
Okay.
It's more for their protection.
Okay, yeah, no one does. You're good, but you keep you keep close, and eventually, sun begins to kind of creep in through the gaps in the planks, and you all begin to rouse from your night's sleep. And the morning kind of continues on like that. You get a chance to meet more of the crew. You get fed. The food is hearty, sustaining, not the most flavorful of meals. Zari and Xander probably have eaten better, but it is Xander. I don't think it's anything less than you would eat in the
I've
in
had
the
worse
wild.
as well.
Yeah. And yeah, it just kind of it goes on like that. For the next day, the time passing as you the ship is now fully out of sight of land masses. You are now navigating based on the skills of your the first mate, Harvel, and the your captain, Captain Leon. And it's just this endless sea of this purple fog that stretches out to either side. That is kind of cut above by the white clouds, spotting the this perfect blue sky. The next day, 2 days roll on, more monotonous, more of the same. Those of you that wish to help out on the ship can. But on the third day of travel, there is a bit of a commotion around midday. Some of you coming up from below deck that were there, and some of you that are above deck, drawing your attention to it. A fog storm on the horizon, something that most of you would be familiar with growing up along the Vathan coast, or anyone that spent time at sea. This rolling wave of purple fog that sits along the base floors of the chasms that divide the continent is growing on the western horizon. And the crew looks on a bit nervously as this happens, as Harvel starts to try to calm the crew the best he can, yelling out orders, getting people to their stations, knowing that this storm is coming. Eventually coming to those of you that don't spend much time on the ships and saying, we've got a bit of a storm coming in. The ship, we kind of pats the railing. The Faros can handle it, no doubt about it, but you probably want to get below deck while this is going on. Just I don't want any of you being thrown overboard.
Do you need any extra assistance on the deck?
Looks at you, giving a sort of a questioning glance, and says, I think we might have it. If there's anything that you think you can provide, though, I'd be happy to hear it.
Not me. I
All
was
right.
referring to my brother.
I looks over to you, Xander.
Do you need extra help?
I think we've got plenty of hands. I prefer you stay below deck and stay safe.
Is there any risk of the creatures that live in the fog coming attacking during the storm?
We may get a swarm coming by, but we don't usually get attacked by anything bigger than that. That's what Samek is here for. And motions over to your half-orc compatriot.
You see him strapping about a hand and a half sword, basically a bastard sword, to his hip, and then tying a rope to a carabiner that he's gonna probably like hook onto the mast up top.
That generally means you need them close, don't you? If you're going to attack with the sword.
That's what these are for. And he pats the javelins on his opposite hip.
Brother,
you're
I think
going
he
at-
has it managed.
I mean,
Are
if
you
you want
going
to,
out there? If you're going out there, I'm going out there.
I mean, it's my job. So yeah, I'm going out there.
Harvell has watched this whole conversation backwards. I'm not going to stop you if that's what you really want to do. So just make sure you get a harness and, well, stay on the deck.
I've got my harness already on. I'm prepared.
And as you notice, Samek pointing out the carabiner or harnesses that the crew has, that they begin to tether onto some of the railings that circumvent the ship, as well as onto the rigging, any of them that are up in the mast below the big bladder, the balloon that sustains the ship's altitude. So, is anyone else going to volunteer to stay above deck, or is everyone else going back down into the hull?
I think Simon is gonna. I don't know exactly how the ship is set up, but is gonna like volunteer to attach himself like right at the thing, the passage between beneath decks and above deck. Because if anyone is injured on deck, he will be able to go get them, try and pull them down under.
Yeah, there is the hatch, and then there's there's a doorway leading into the forecastle deck, which has the staircase that leads down to the hold or the galley. So there is a couple places you could be, but you could stay like near the hatch if you wanted to, which has like a ladder that heads down.
So basically, head poking out while everything's going on.
Well, if everyone else is staying up here, I'm not going to miss out on the fun.
Well, I was hoping you'd tell me more about where you came from and what you're doing on this ship.
I suppose.
And then she offers her arm as like the way two girls, like I guess two noble women would hold hands, where it's kind of up. And
Yeah.
yeah.
The Game of Thrones thing.
Yes.
The
Shall we?
She's weighing her options so hard right now.
There is a kind of an intermediary where if you wanted to be out of the storm but still be like level with the main deck and not be totally out of it, you could go. The forecastle deck is level with the main deck, or the raised front portion of the ship. You could be in there and still be kind of have line of sight on what's going on.
I think that'd be acceptable.
I'll do that, and I suppose someone should look after you.
Oh, you're so kind.
And we can say Simon's there too if that's where they're going to be. That's another like in between point where you can have your head poking out, kind of be both. Okay, sounds good.
I'll make sure Zari has her harness on properly in case for some reason she decides to walk out.
Yeah, I think everyone is given a harness for the storm, just in case. There's also a secondary precaution. So you're given the harnesses and the carabiners to hold on to to latch yourself onto the ship in case you were thrown off. But there are also these about a 5-foot net that circumvents the ship just to catch anything else that might fall off of it. That is your last
Oh yeah,
Your last safety.
I have a third safety net. Remember,
You have a
tried to
third
detect-
safety net. You have
So yeah, you would
specifically
see
have
either
your-
side of Xander's waist is a roll of rope, which seems to be tied to an arrow, which is tucked in a special pocket on the other side of his leg. But just worst case scenario.
Yeah, that is
Let's
worst case
just-
scenario because I want to see how that plays out when you are
There's a
falling off
shoot
the
at the
ship.
boat and hold on and go, please hit.
Yeah. So yeah, last ditch effort. That'll be a hell of a roll or a hell of a goodbye, for Xander.
Rip.
Okay.
I think as she goes below, Anius is just like, well, Samek, don't fall off the boat. I think we'd miss you.
This isn't my first rodeo. Fuck, that's a death flag, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna whisper to you, Samek, you're gonna die now. You shouldn't have done that.
Next week, I'll be introducing my new character.
You might as well have just said that you're about to retire.
I'll be right back.
What's this red shirt doing on me?
Hey, y'all, watch this.
All right. As you all, it's like a good level. I don't know if those winds are too loud. You all take your positions, and this calm takes over the crew as they begin to tighten everything down. Some heading below deck, the essential personnel staying above. You see Harveld stepping aside and fastening himself to the railing as Captain Leon takes the helm, fastening herself to the wheel of the ship. And she steers you, trying to maintain the correct trajectory as this fog cloud's rolling in, the winds beginning to pick up, and it's just this wall, kind of like the sandstorm in Mad Max, that is just kind of looming overhead like a massive wave beginning to crash down and over you. And you just watch as it slowly but inevitably approaches until it is taking up the entire horizon. It is all you can see in the distance. And then with almost no fanfare or crash or impact of any sort, it just washes over you. And there's no sound. It's just this rushing of wind, and the ship just begins to sway from side to side as this fog overtakes the vessel. You see some of the crew begin to wrap bandanas or handkerchiefs or scarves of some kind over their mouths. You would all know that the fog is not poisonous and that there is no harmful effects that any academic or alchemist or anyone has discovered. But there is an old superstition that is carried by a lot of sailors and a lot of common folk, that the fog itself is cursed, and that breathing it in would pass that curse on, and could have all sorts of negative and harmful effects. And some of the more superstitious of the crew seem to be going along with that. I'm curious if anyone else of the five of you might hold that superstition.
Where does it come from?
The fog?
No. The superstition.
The superstition. I think it is something when you live in a world like this, where this thing is present, has been attributed to a lot of old religious concepts, where some say that the fog comes from the hells themselves, or some sort of far plane of evil and malevolence, and will possess people and cause them to do all sorts of evil things. And in the recent centuries, as science and other magical practices have grown and actually taken the time to study it, only recently were those superstitions confirmed as such. So yeah, it's mostly related to religious superstition.
I would not.
Samek doesn't.
Okay.
I'm not hiding this boy band face. Be a
All right.
crime.
Well, and especially those of you that have been on the ship, who might have been through fog storms, and even those of you on the coast that have had fog storms roll in that sometimes hit the coasts themselves, you know that it's nothing to fear, and that the thing to fear with the fogs is what comes with them. The Kavar that sometimes travel along with the fog itself, that seem drawn to it, that inhabit it,
I think
that are
Anais
carried along with its winds.
goes along with the superstition. I don't know that she 100% believes in it, but I think she's encountered like cursed things before and doesn't want to take any chances.
Okay, better be safe than sorry.
I think she's
Okay,
probably
yeah.
kind of always just gone along with it.
So you pull up. You probably, most people that believe in this probably carry a handkerchief or a bandana or a scarf or something that they could use when the fog storms come. So you pull one on and tie it over your mouth and nose to prevent yourself from directly breathing in the fog. As the wind picks up, I would actually, this will be a good chance for me to do this. Let me make sure it's a skill before I ask him. I know it is. Perception.
Yeah, it's perceived.
Yes. So let me get a perceive check from everyone.
Perceptive at, oh, I thought I was perceptive at AF, but no. Someone beat me.
Okay.
They're not
and then
even
in
on
the order,
the deck.
the order that you guys have rolled, let's go and shout those numbers out.
9.
12.
24.
9.
25. So I rolled a natural 20. Does that do anything?
Yeah, so it depends on the situation. Some skills have like critical success conditions, so that it increases your sort of outcome by one step. I'm gonna pull up the perceive check, so I can have that on hand. Can I spell? Let's see. So I don't believe perception does. Okay. No. So in this case, okay. Yeah. There's a seek. That's what I'm looking for. Is seek is the action. Sorry. Roll 20. Why do you do this to me? There we go. Critical success. Okay, if you were searching for creatures, any undetected or hidden creature you critically succeeded against becomes observed by you. As if you were searching for an object, you learn its if you were searching for an object, you learn its location. So that is the critical success for the seek action, which is a basic action that everyone has access to. So here is what happens. So we had the 25, 24, and then the rest were like 9s and
12.
12. Okay. So Xander and I think Simon, Samek, and Zareen, that as the fog comes in, your eyes are adjusting, and you don't see anything in the fog. What you do hear, Simon, is you begin to hear this buzzing that kind of echoes with the fog. Everything is sort of muted, but that buzzing carries with the fog itself, and that is not uncommon. There are swarms of Kavar, the smaller insects that travel with the storms themselves, that you are used to, but I probably it might put you on edge to know that there are creatures out there. Xander and Anais, you both hear the buzzing, and you also notice dark spots in the fog around you, discolorations, inconsistencies with the color of the fog. And as quickly as you see them, they sort of dart away and vanish. And you get the impression of larger creatures looming out, just out of sight, out in the fogs themselves. Anais, you are the only one that sees the creature approaching. At first you hear the buzzing, and then you look out through a porthole in the side of the ship, in the room that you are currently in, the chamber you're currently in, and you see some dark shape growing darker and more solid in the mist. And then you see, as it skims past, this large black reddish carapace with black spines along the back, intersect with red as well. And you see two mandibles clicking as this thing hovers and kind of twists and turns like a shark, cutting through the air. And then all of you at the same time hear a screeching as one of the crew lets out a yelp as on a different side of the ship, a large, or a large tube in the sense of bugs, but a about 1.5 foot long mosquito-like creature comes buzzing out and just sort of latches onto the crew member and begins to struggle as one of the others begins to pull the creature away. And I am going to go ahead and put in combat music, and we're going to roll for initiative. I'm going to give Anais, because you succeeded on the last check, I'm going to give you a bonus to your initiative roll.
Okay.
I'm going to also give one to Xander. We'll just say a +2 bonus. So everyone, I'm going to see if this works on this. Click your token and the initiative button and roll 20. Make sure it actually rolls you. Oh, it looks like it's working. Awesome. And I'm going to go ahead and put out some things. And so we are going to enter encounter mode.
That is be a +2. Oh, I can add it. Oh, good.
You can add it on there, yeah. So yes, we're going to enter encounter mode, like Voltron, as we are get into these bugs, these Kvaur begin to descend upon your ship. I'm going to put them on the map here, or our little diagram here in a second. For those of you at home, we're using Theater of the Mind. It's how I prefer to run combat. I've got people's tokens and stuff, so we can have like relations of like numbers and hit points and all that. But you guys have a general sense where we're on the ship. Tell me what you want to do. I'll tell you if you can do it, or if there's something you might need to get into that situation. And I'm gonna roll for them, and then we'll see which unlucky person gets to go first. So this is...
As a reaction, I'm gonna rage.
Okay. Did not know that was a reaction this game. That's very helpful.
You see Samek's arms light in fire as he lets out a bellow.
Nice.
Cool. Sandwich is a noise.
Okay, I think I got those, and then I'm gonna throw this. Nope, that's not the right one. That's the same thing I did before. This thing out here.
I'm not sure how I feel about fire hands on a wooden ship, but hey, you know,
It's
you've
metal.
survived multiple ships before.
Okay, these are what you see so far. And just Sending. Oh, I need to roll for them.
Nah, you don't have to. They don't need a turn.
They can
That's,
just chill.
Wouldn't you guys like that? Okay. I rolled very well for one of them, very badly for the other. Oh, they're not showing up? Nah, they're not showing up on the thing, so I'm gonna have to add them in manually. Okay. All right, thank you for bearing with me. Xander, you are first. So I'm going to give a basic rundown of how this is going to work. Everybody's turn. You get 3 actions you can take. I gave you guys all a handout, the convenient list of the things you can do, the general actions, or you guys have your own actions that you can take based on your class. And then you also get one, you can take a free action, and you also have an action, can do a reaction once per turn as well. Like we've just had Simek do his reaction. So, Xander, what do you got?
What do I got? I got a fun time coming for us. It looks like I have an ability called Hunt Prey, which is like Hunter's Mark, but I think I can do as many times as I want today.
Sorry, repeat that.
There we go.
Oh.
There we go. Hunt Prey, 1 action.
Okay, so you designate a single creature as your prey. Focus your attacks against that creature. You must be able to see or hear the prey. Okay, which one are you? I
The
will say the only
little mosquito
sorry.
that's attacking.
mosquito. Okay, perfect.
Because I believe only Anais can see the big thing right now.
Yeah, only she can see that. So you have 2 of the Bloodseekers that are currently in view. So you mark one of them, the one that is currently attacking one of the crew members. Okay. What else?
Okay. Then I will have my animal companion Crow. I will command him to help out, which gives him 2 actions.
Okay.
But he's just going to use one of his to move next to that thing, and the other one's going to be his support skill. I got that somewhere. Hold on. I believe I got that somewhere. I wrote it down somewhere.
Support, you said?
Yeah, support for the bird. It does, if I hit, there's persistent bleed damage.
Bird. Support benefit, the bird pecks at your foe's eyes. When you create an opening until the start of your next turn, your strikes that damage a creature that your bird threatens also deal 1d4 persistent bleed damage. And the target is dazzled.
Don't know what that
A.
means.
No?
Yeah, but I'm not
Dazzled.
nimble.
Your eyes are overstimulated. Okay. Cool.
The bird's not nimble or savage until it like grows up. So it's just
Okay.
1d4.
Okay.
And then let's just use everything I have as a ranger. My last action, I will use this once per round. I'm wielding a ranged weapon with reload of 0. I take 2 quick shots at the thing I hunt.
Okay.
And I had to choose a special for my hunter's edge thing, like when I hunt prey, and I took this one, which reduces my multiple attack roll penalty.
Okay, cool. So
If
just go
all
and
that
roll your
makes
2 attacks.
sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. So go ahead and just roll your 2 attacks. I assume your attack roll penalty has been updated on your sheet. Or we'll just do that. thing. So this game as a system, for those of you that aren't sure, either haven't looked at it yet, is if you can make more than one attack on a turn if you use your actions to do so. For each consecutive attack you make, you have a penalty that applies to it to your. Is it attack and damage or just your attack?
Just the attack.
Just the attack.
So the second one we take 3 off of.
Okay.
So my first attack. 15 hit.
15. Let's see. Now I've got to look at our. 15 does not hit.
Not hit. Well then. Oh, okay. Second attack. 24.
24 does hit.
There we go. 7 piercing.
All right. Okay.
And it takes bleed damage because I hit it.
Oh, it bleeds because it's dead.
That's a squishy boy.
It's a very squishy boy. Had a higher AC, but yeah, I think it is. I think it's thrown off in an instant. It's like yanked off of one of the crew members and is pulled away. Just the arrow stabs through it and just goes tumbling out of the crew member's hands into the fogs below and out of sight. And the crew member looks over at you, shocked and a little terrified that you shot an arrow that close to their face, but happy they're not murdered. Nice, cool. So I think that's all you have on your turn, and it is now the Reef Claw's turn, which is currently hidden to all but Anais. And Anais, you see it kind of come staking out from underneath, beside the deck of the ship. And as it silently sort of swims through the air, it comes streaking towards, let's see who's on the deck. Well, I think you're drawing attention to yourself right now, Xander, so I think it goes towards you because you're on the main deck, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Can't let Sammy deal with everything himself.
Okay, so use one of its actions to move towards you. You already have made your perception, so it is hidden from you. So I believe
Flat-footed.
So I think that's a -2 to your AC. It is going
I'm really
to make...
picturing that guy who I just saved has a look of fear because I almost shot him in the head, and there's a giant thing about to hit me from behind. So I'm like,
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So it's going to make a melee strike against you. That is a 26. So that's going to hit you.
No, it misses.
That's going to be 7 points of slashing damage.
Oh, okay.
And then it is, as its claw grabs onto the back of you, and you all hear Xander let out a shout of pain as this large sort of lobster-looking creature has now latched onto him, and you feel this burning sensation to where it has pierced between the gaps in your armor, and it kind of cuts across your skin. And you are now affected by Reef Claw venom. We'll get to that in a little bit. Actually, I need you to make a DC. There's a saving throw. Fortitude save.
Do I have to be poisoned?
No, you don't, because you succeeded.
Trait, noble blood.
So yeah, you do succeed on the fortitude save, so you resist the effects of the poison, but you are grabbed by the creature. And then let's see, that's the second one. So I guess it's going to make it's going to use its last action to make a constrict against you as well, because it really
Bring it. It's not my fault I'm the biggest threat on this team.
Which I believe is action, and you just take an additional damage.
Someone please save me.
It's not much. 4 points of damage.
I'm in power kill range, guys.
That'll be Zarene's turn.
Me? Sorry. It's fine.
Sorry.
Josh voice in the sky.
Well, the name on roll. Reading
yeah.
the names on roll 20.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's fine. I guess we can be formal. So I did a wrong, and I didn't realize my edict was my focus. I was confused about that. So, but what I am going to do, Zari's gonna step out to the door when she hears her brother yell, and she's going to step. She's gonna shove the door open. That's not what that is. And she is going to, I think she's going to use her edict on the creature that is holding her brother. Which I will, oh shit. You issue your edict demanding the target performed a particular task. Oh no, it's a willing creature. Never mind. So
Okay.
that wouldn't work. So I will, I don't really have anything that'll like hurt him, but I'll cast Bane on him.
Okay.
So he needs to make a will save.
Okay. Will.
Can I just point out it was a manly scream?
I mean, I'm sure it was.
Let me just confirm that because it's not on mine. Will is wisdom.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. I'm just making sure that that's the wisdom base because it doesn't have
Yes.
proficiency with it. So it just comes up as the stats.
Yeah.
Oh, no. There it is. There's the will. Okay. I'm learning these NPC sheets. They're
Different.
not ideal.
Yeah.
on roll 20 at least. I like the way they look in the books, but that is a 15.
He does not succeed. My DC save is 16. So he takes a -1 stat penalty to attack rolls as long as they're in the area, which for me is 150 feet. So I can, that is 2 actions to use.
Can I point out it says enemies in the area, so I think that's multiple.
Yeah,
is it
yeah.
a-
So if there's anything within 5 feet of it, it has a
okay.
radius of 5 feet, but I assumed that there wasn't.
Yeah, that is the only one currently within range.
So yeah, I'm gonna do that. So as Zari steps out of the room, I think that Anais could see her eyes glaze over black as she reaches out, and like you can see like blood form in her fingertips and on her hands as she reaches out towards this creature and kind of pulls her fists together, cursing it. And then she's just gonna say to them like, kill that.
Okay. We'll deal with that, Anais, on your turn, which I guess is Zareen. That is it. I think you've used all 3 of your actions. So we had a tie between Simon and Anais. So I think you guys get to decide who wants to go first. Who's going first?
I mean, I'm just gonna try and give this thing a hangover. If you want to do something cooler.
I don't know how cool it's gonna be.
I'll go ahead and roll.
You go ahead and go.
Yeah, because that's how it is. So I am going to... I need this thing to make a will save as I cast Daze on it.
Will save. Okay. Is there a crit fail condition?
Yes. It is
Is it
stun
crit
1.
fails? Oh,
So,
jeez. So it's stunned for its next turn.
Yeah, you cloud the target's mind and daze it with a mental jolt. Mental damage equal to spellcasting ability modifier. If critically fails, it is also stunned 1. So
Yeah.
takes, I don't know if it actually takes the critical damage as well.
So what's the effect of the spell? Do-
Takes mental damage equal to my spellcasting ability modifier, which is 4, and then it makes the will save, and if it critically fails, it's stunned.
And the
Okay.
target takes double the listed damage.
Okay, no matter what, even if this isn't a spell attack.
Yeah, so that first little box.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I see. Okay, yeah, it says the target takes double the listed damage from the effect.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
guess
that's a lot of effects if you take.
Takes 8 mental damage, and
Oof.
I don't know how this translates to insectoid physiology, but for humanoids, I imagine the spell when Simon casts it is basically it gives them an instant hangover.
Yeah. I don't think this thing's ever been drunk before, which I think is part of the reason why this stuns it. Because suddenly this thing, it kind of, I think it laxes a little bit in its hold of you, Xander, and it just kind of goes limp in the air a bit. It's just like you see its tail twitching in side to side, like it doesn't really understand the sensation that it is feeling.
And I will kind of yell out to Xander, "If you get close, I can patch you up."
And it does stun 1 means it loses 1 of its action.
Yeah.
So that's I double checked that.
Okay.
So that ouch.
Yeah. I think for my action though, or because that's 2 actions cast for my 3rd
yeah,
action,
one,
I'm
one.
gonna take cover back behind the door
Okay.
or wherever it is we're hiding.
Yeah. And that's not one you have to roll for, right? It's just
Let me.
I actually have the cover page number pulled up.
is that 471?
477 is the outline because I'm gonna have questions about it in a minute.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah, I see the take cover action. So you press yourself against a wall or duck behind an obstacle to gain advantage of cover. Okay.
Yeah.
So you have the advantage of cover. If it comes up, then I'm gonna go ahead and take us to 477 since Savannah's about to have a question. So awesome. All right. You duck around after just nuking that thing with that spell. Anais.
Hi, yes. I would like to go up on deck where the mean thing is, please.
Okay.
Which I guess is one of my actions.
Yeah, movement is one of your
stride.
actions.
According to the sheet, and then so I have questions. I have questions about everything as it relates to sneak attack because that's what I know how to do. So sneak attack for me says when your enemy can't properly defend itself. You can deal extra damage if you strike a creature that has the flat-footed condition, and then it gives me all like the weapons specifications. I don't know what it takes to catch something flat-footed, so like my question is because cover gives me bonuses to like hide
Yes.
and everything.
So I believe that, and I'm gonna pull it up just to double check. So by hiding from it, something like what just happened with against Xander, if you are hidden from it, then you gain the flat-footed condition against attacks made against it.
But so if because it says take cover gives you the standard cover gives you the bonus to AC reflex saves and stealth checks to hide and sneak. So I would take cover and then hiding would be a separate thing and the cover would give me a bonus to hiding. That's my understanding.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm trying to pull up the for it now. Okay, yeah. So you can make so you take cover and then are going to use your action, one of your actions to take cover. You can use another action to make a stealth check.
Okay, so it would be 2 separate actions.
Yes.
What if I don't want to take cover to get the bonus and I just want to hide? Can I still try to hide like without and just not get the +2?
If the situation calls for it, if you are obscured enough that you could presumably hide from it, which I'd say you're in another room from the creature. You're beyond a door, a small kind of narrow space. So I would say that you could make a stealth check without having to hide at this point, because you're not directly in this thing's line of sight, or without having to take cover. You know what I mean?
But then could I then shoot it through the door or something? Okay, great.
Yeah.
I think I understand.
So you could use one action to take cover, another action to hide, and then a third action to make your attack.
Okay, instead of, because I have 3, right?
Yeah, so that'd be 3.
So if
actions.
I stay where I am.
Yeah.
Great. I'm gonna saying it out loud helps me understand it so much more. I'm gonna do those 3 things.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to do them. So yeah, I want to take cover and try to hide, so I can get sneak attack.
Okay. So go ahead and make a stealth check. I'm going to contest it with the. Well, I think it's just going to be the DC. It's perception. Okay, yeah, just make a stealth check.
Okay, and so I get a +2.
+4.
+4.
Plus, I believe so.
There's lesser, standard, and greater cover.
Oh, okay, yeah. I would say this is going to be standard cover. So yeah, +2. Yeah.
Okay.
Learning.
Well, bad. +2, 12.
12. Okay, I'm gonna make a
That's
perception.
A really bad roll.
You rolled a 12. You said
Yeah.
not a 10.
I
Okay,
rolled
'cause they rolled a-
3 on the dice.
It rolled a 10, so you are hidden from it.
Okay. Then yeah, I'm gonna try to shoot it.
Okay.
With my bow.
So attacks made against it because you're hidden. You have the it has the flat-footed condition, which means it has a -2 to its AC, and then you get the advantages of your
Yes.
sneak attack.
I get if I hit it, I deal extra precision damage, which I have rolled into my macro. Well, I rolled a 22 to attack.
That will hit it.
Cool. So that is I rolled really bad damage though. It's 5 damage total.
Okay. 5 points of damage. All right. So you come kind of rolling around the corner and you fire you have an arrow, a short bow. Yeah, you fire your short bow at it from around the corner, and it strikes into its back as it is stunned by Simon's spell and currently grappled around Xander. That will end your turn. So that has been Simon, Annie's,
Can I ask
and
one more question? I'm so sorry.
yeah, sure. No, that's fine.
We
We're doing
talked-
this slow for this first round because everybody has to learn how these things work.
We talked about this and I can't remember why. Do I get any stat bonus to my damage with my bow? Because it's in here. It is coming up for my sword and not for my bow, and I can't remember why. Is
No,
it
so
it's a strength bonus for ranged weapons? That's why.
Yeah. You don't have a bonus for your ranged attacks with
Because I'm not strong.
Yeah, I don't think you get a bonus to the
You're not getting
damage.
that at all?
I don't think so. Well, either way,
I'll look in the book.
you don't.
I didn't know if you remember off the top of your head, but I'll look in the book. That's fine.
Yeah, it might be based on strength. Okay.
Now I'm
Samek,
done.
is your turn.
They see Samek go to his bastard sword, and as he's pulling it out the rapier, he's scraping his hand along the side and lights it on fire. And I have a feat from being a barbarian called Sudden Charge, which lets me stride twice and attack for 2 actions.
Nice.
So he's going to run across the deck and try and murderate this thing.
Okay. The reef claw.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you come, Samek in a furious charge comes running across. I imagine the glowing or the you said your arms are on
His arms and his sword are on fire.
are on fire now. Yeah, is an eerie effect with the fog closing in. That's just like flame, kind of probably actually make it a little bit almost harder to see in the immediate vicinity, but it is intimidating nonetheless. You come in and strike at the reef claw. Go ahead and make your attack.
I'm gonna re-roll that with a hero point.
Okay. Might as well.
Been rolling like crap all night. There we go. 21 with 19 fire damage.
Oh, buddy. That is so much damage. Yeah. You murdered this thing. I'm trying to think of a good... How do you see Samek murdering this creature with his flaming sword?
It's like the old samurai movies where the fog is like up and he like slashes and dashes past it. And then there's like the
yeah. So it comes running past in a blur of motion and just kind of hunches down, dropping to one knee for a second, just flaming sword, rippling smoke coming off of it in this dark fog, kind of being pushed away. And Xander, you're looking at this thing as it is slobbering, its mandibles clacking at you, this poison dripping down its claws, and suddenly the back portion of the body, there's this weight lifted as the back of it just falls away, and it's already cauterized wound across it, and its eyes immediately kind of, there's these two black beady eyes just kind of glaze over, go a little bit dull, and its grip on you loosens and it just collapses down onto the deck.
There is another bellow that just echoes throughout the ship.
Love it.
That's it.
Okay. Well, I don't know if you have anything else that you could do at this point, or if you would want to after that awesome attack. The last Bloodseeker, this lone poor little insect comes rushing in, and I don't think it has the intelligence to run away at this point. So I think it is going to strike. Yeah, I think it's real dumb. So it's going to go at Samek and just make its attack. So it's going to use one of its actions to move, and then it's going to make its second action to attack with its.
You want to hit a 16?
Huh?
You want to hit a 16, sorry.
16. Okay, thanks. Let's see. That is going to be a 22 to hit. And it does not deal any immediate damage. Let's see. Oh no, it is going to do this. So yeah, it doesn't deal any immediate damage there. It kind of latches onto you with these barbed legs, wrapping its legs around your arm, and then with this proboscis, it just jabs it into your shoulder, and is going to drain some blood from you. That's going to be 3 points of damage.
Cool.
Let's see. Creature that has its blood drained by a Bloodseeker is drained 1 until it receives healing.
Oh, what domain?
I don't know. I think that means your health is reduced by 1 to you, but I'm not sure. We'll
definitely gonna want that read again once I'm patching him up after the encounter.
Yeah, we'll look at it again. Xander, it is your turn.
Okay, I'm not gonna pretend like that wasn't super cool. Like it's just everyday stuff for me to see some guy with firearms and fire sword just slicing me in half, even though I had it completely under control myself. So I'm going to move. I can move 30 feet, so I'm going to move that far if possible away from this bug that's sucking on the fire dude, because I don't want a penalty for my shot.
Okay.
And then my second action, I'm going to tell Crow to go and attack the thing. And I'll take a shot. And my bird will try and peck its eyes out as well.
Okay,
So
so you just get the one shot this time.
Yeah, I'll take the one shot, and my dragon will have a hack attack.
Okay, go for it.
So my shot. Can I use my hero point to re-roll that? Because I found out that's something we can do.
Yes, you can.
Is a 16 hit it?
Let me double check. Yes, it does.
Oh, yeah. 17. Oh, wait. It's this one. And then that is 5 piercing.
Okay. What's it piercing? It is still alive, filled with the additional sustenance it has gained from Xander. It's looking swole on his hulked out blood. It is still alive with this arrow sticking out the back of it.
Okay, in comes my bird, who's gonna try and rip it to pieces. Okay, 22 hits on the show.
Yep.
And 8 piercing because my bird don't fuck around.
God, bird dealt more damage than anything that I did. The bird just comes in, the arrow sticking out of it, and then just swoops down, I say bird, your
Dragon.
dragon swoops down, grabs onto it, and then just goes flying up towards the rafters. You hear this crunching noise that is ripped to shreds, and Crow goes to feast on this creature.
I have to feed him today. Yes.
And that is going to end this easy encounter, which ended up being easier than I expected. Okay. As the last bits and pieces of these insects fall to the deck of the ship, your flaming sword sputtering and cracking in the light of this that is in the fog. The whole crew kind of still for a second. You continue to hear some buzzing around you. There's no like cheering because I don't want to make any noise, but it seems like the immediate danger is gone. Actually, I should put on some more dramatic music until you guys are out of the fog.
Zari is going to stride over to her brother, very casually out on the deck, and she's going to kind of like grab his jaw and give him a look over, and then kind of give him a slap. You're fine.
Never said I wasn't.
Simon is actually going to follow after her, pull him down, do more or less the same thing. You are not fine. Come with me.
Do I have to?
If you want to feel better, yes.
Do as you're told, Zandy.
Don't call me Zandy. I'm not 8 anymore. I want to thank Samek for the killing the big thing.
Zari will acknowledge Samek and give him a like. It's very sarcastic, but a nod.
Samek is on the deck of the ship. He has his sword out between his hands, and he's like breathing in a rhythm, just inhaling the fog. And as he's doing so, the flames are just slowly going down until like he calms down. Sheath. No problem.
I can give you once over as well, see if I can do something about that bug bite. But let me attend to this one first, because I imagine Xander's bleeding more profusely. Or he looks to be in worse shape.
Yeah. That's pretty visibly.
I'm gonna not show the pain. I'm not trying to act tough because, in my mind, a noble would be crying about the pain. A commoner probably wouldn't. Samek doesn't look like he's crying because his arms are on fire. So
I imagine he has burned away all the nerves in his arm.
Yeah. The bandages have burnt off by now, and you can see that there's like a massive burn scars on either arm.
I'm gonna come out from behind cover
Oh, hello.
with my bow. I think I'm just looking between Samek and Zari, trying to figure out which one of them I should aggressively question first.
Can I like do a check to see if I know how Semek has his powers, like where they come from, if they're divine in nature, I guess?
Sure. I think Arcana would the lore Arcana check would be because you have Arcana lore, right?
I don't think I have it. I'm not proficient in it.
Okay.
But I
What lore do you have?
I have genealogy.
Oh, okay. I thought you had a different one. Genealogy.
Can I trace his bloodline? Can I trace a demonic bloodline?
Yeah. We can do a. It'll be very specific to this role.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could try to get some information using that.
Okay. A 12.
A 12. Okay.
Does it seem like he's getting his powers like I'm getting my powers?
Yeah, you gave me the most neutral roll, the most
sorry.
average roll for a check that I was.
Above average, okay.
Yeah, I, there could be similarities there.
Okay. Give him a little eye before
You do
I
not
walk
rule
in.
it out.
Right.
That.
I believe this will be the first time I've seen my sister use her powers because you just came into them, right?
This is
So
true,
I'm
probably.
Slightly freaked out. Like, I know there's a gist,
Yeah.
but I didn't really pay attention because it didn't affect me.
Mm-hmm.
And question for the voice in the sky, because I really want to use tanning law for something. Would I know if the hides of this creature would be useful in any way?
They could be used. They could be pried off and
Can I
used
roll
as like
tanning law at
plate.
least?
There's no tanning because they are bugs. They have carapace, not skin. I will say, I'm going to broaden kind of tanning a little bit because the Kavar are such like a big part of the ecology of this world. There are uses for them, tanning, drying them out, using them, treating them, that you could use these plates for things. Some people make some armors out of them. Some people just use them for decorative, depending on the sheen and the quality of the carapace could be used as like art pieces, things like that. So there are uses for it.
Someone heard the word art. Like, art pieces.
If Xander is in any way visibly distracted by, wait, why's my sister got blood dripping from her eyes? I'm gonna use that opportunity to try and do the medicine, kind of while he's distracted, so.
Okay.
Normally, treat wounds takes 10 minutes, but because I'm a field medic, I can do it as an action, even in combat. But I guess I can also take the time to do it regularly right now.
Either way.
But so that is rolling a medicine check. DC is usually 15, though the GM might adjust it based on the circumstances, such as treating a patient outside in the storm or treating magically cursed wounds.
You are outside in a storm right now.
Well, I pulled him inside into the.
Yeah, no. I was gonna say the storm wouldn't really affect it, I don't think. And you're out of combat. I'll lower the DC because you're in a non-combat situation.
Okay.
So make it 13.
Well, I will say I think it's normally 15 because normally you can't even do this in combat. It's just a field medic. But anyway, let me roll and we'll see if it even matters.
Yeah.
That looks like it's pretty good. That's a 24.
Yeah, that is very good. So,
Yes.
How much does he regain?
So on a normal success, target regains 2d8 hit points, and this can also remove the wounded condition.
Okay.
But this is a way I can do healing without using my limited magical healing.
Perfect.
So you get here. I'll roll 2d8 for you. You get 10 hit points back.
I'm almost 100%. Power kill will still end me, but
Will end all of us. And then, so I'm gonna patch him up. I don't think I have any candy to give him. I'll offer him a shot from a flask.
I'm good. I don't know what's in there.
Suit yourself.
And you
Takes a
did just
shot.
do 10 minutes of surgery in like 6 seconds, so I'm a little bit.
The stitches are maybe a little slapdash, but they'll hold.
And you look drunk. So just.
All right, big fella, would you like me to take a look at Bug Bite?
Yeah. He'll nod his head, turn to the first mate and go, have somebody take over for me while I get this looked at.
I will do. And he motions for a couple of the crew, and they cape a lookout. You notice they've doused the lanterns at this point along the edge of the ship, and some of them have like crossbows at the ready, and they're just peering out into the darkness. You can still hear that occasional droning out in the shadows.
Now, mechanically, I don't think I can actually do anything to remove the drained condition, but at least flavor-wise, I'll look him over. Be like, I do not think I can do much for this, but sleep it off. You should be better in the morning.
Yeah, I will say, looking it over, and I'm just going to reveal this because just for the sake of time, it lasts until he receives healing of any kind specified by this creature's ability. So any kind of healing would actually remove this drain condition.
All right, well, then I can do another medicine check.
Yeah, sure.
That's only a 16.
That's enough, though. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so you're not hurt, and you get so much health. You get 13 health for your one missing hit point.
It's 1 max, so.
Yeah.
Listen, I think I'm gonna have to start hurting you guys more in the future.
No.
Is that a
Kid
prompt?
gloves come off. Yeah.
I mean, this is something that
Not in
normally
front of
takes-
everyone, at least.
Yeah, normally
We
this
should probably
takes
grab
10
that
minutes to do.
first guy which got drained and line him up next.
Was there another pretender?
He never got attacked. He just.
I thought he got. Oh,
You
he
got him
grabbed.
before he got a chance to get stabbed. He just got grabbed by the thing, and you destroyed it.
I mean, I would
so-
still give him a once over. You have minus
Yeah.
scratch.
Yeah.
Get back
you
to
look
work.
him over.
You're welcome.
I have a question. Do these bugs have blood?
That's a layered question because they do have the blood that they took from. So yes, in that regard, one of them has a bladder, a sack
Yeah.
filled with some X blood right now,
Which is now in Crow's belly.
which is now being picked apart by Crow. And yes, they do have like it's not like human blood, but
Mhm.
they do have a
I think
substance.
that Zari will call down Crow if she can, and take a tissue, not a tissue, a handkerchief, and kind of wipe the blood off of him, and give him words of encouragement, and then pocket the handkerchief.
Okay. I'm assuming that Crow probably, like to a limited capacity, would follow Zari's commands, unless you think otherwise, Xander.
No, Crow's probably seen me just follow every command and goes, oh, well, look, he gets told what to do. It must be.
Yeah, you're in charge of me. She's in charge of you. So
She's in charge of me.
Crow, hey, Crow knows the pecking order.
Yeah, that's fine. And I'm very sweet to Zarya is very sweet to Crow. Like gives him scritches under the chin and gives him scraps and stuff like that. So
Okay, and you surreptitiously, I'm gonna have you roll a stealth check
Sure.
for the pocketing of it. Assuming
stealth
you're trying
or
to
thievery.
be I think stealth is actually the more appropriate one.
Sure.
That's why I was asking.
Yeah, because I'm not taking it from him. I'm not very good at it. That's a 6.
I
like to think the white and the
will leave it to Samek whether if this is something that is concerning to you or something that you think Samek was paying attention to.
I believe he's gone down deck to his like little quarter area so he can get more wrappings for his arm. So he didn't see.
Probably didn't see that.
Isn't Anais still on the deck?
I was actually gonna say I've been sort of surreptitiously a little bit maybe watching Zarine until she was alone, and then I was going to approach her.
You want to make a perception check for me then? You just have to beat a 6.
Well,
It's not gonna be hard.
that's 20.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I think you beat a 6.
I think you'll see how meticulously she folds it, like how it's a very precious thing to her, and she just kind of puts it.
I think that's probably what gives you away, is because you spend too long trying to make sure it's okay and preserve before tucking it to your pocket.
So I think, still, I think we'll put the bow away, and then still wearing the like black scarf over her nose and mouth, just like very casually. I think we'll like walk up to like where Zari is and just kind of lean on the railing.
Does this kind of thing happen often on a ship like this?
I wouldn't know.
Seems like a easy pest to take care of.
Well, I don't imagine all of them are quite so small. But you handle yourself pretty well.
Oh, you dabbled in a few things, and keeping my brother safe is my main priority.
I can understand that. So, born with it, demon deal.
That's a very personal question. I would say it runs in my family.
Good to know. No judgment, just passing interest.
Well, you seem to handle yourself fairly well with your bow and your hiding, and it seems like you have dabbled before.
A bit.
Yes, well, I'm glad you're here. In a fight, I'm sure you're quite inept. Is that the right word? Adept. That's
But
the
would
other
Zori
word.
actually say inept?
Yeah.
Can we go with that you said inept first, because that makes this whole thing so much better.
Apologies. Adept.
No offense taken.
Flashback to Xander apologizing to everyone in advance about my sister.
Zari will excuse herself to go be by her brother's side in his trying time.
Just watching. Not staring.
Yes.
Just watching.
Keeping an eye on.
Interest. Peaked.
Mm. Yeah, I'll go to my brother. Make sure he's being dealt with.
Okay.
He healed me in 6 seconds. It's amazing.
He did this in 6 seconds.
Think
Is
he's
he
a
on
drunk.
drugs?
Depends. Do you call alcohol drug?
Some people find alcohol appalling and demeaning and not good for practicing surgery.
Well, then they better not worship Kate and Kylene. Takes another
Obviously.
sip.
Sorry, were you talking about alcohol or yourself?
What?
Well, and I'm just gonna walk away because I just roasted my sister.
Just to let you know, I do not judge you if you do not also partake of alcohol, but for me, it is I mean, it is enjoyable, but also a religious obligation.
Fair enough. I think it can serve its purpose.
You also learn how to make it serve you when the time is needed. Takes a drink while maintaining eye contact with her, and then follows after to check on the rest of the crew.
Aggressive drinking.
It's like that gif of the guy just downing the whole thing and bashing into the car.
Then he crushes it against his forehead and walks away.
All right. At some point, Zari will want to have a conversation with Samek, but I think that'll be later.
Me too.
All right.
I'll just eavesdrop
So-
on their conversation. Basically the same.
Do you want to do the conversation this session, or do you want to wait till the next one?
I mean, I'm okay with doing it either way.
Sure.
I'm going to wrap up here in a second. I was going to ask if there's any last things you guys want to do.
It can be quick.
You'll be quick. Okay.
Yeah.
No, don't rush.
Well,
So
no, I
you
know
go-
it's more of a planting a seed.
So
So-
you go find Samek. Where's Samek right now? Where does he go?
He's probably in the galley somewhere with like this barrel of rainwater that's open and just shoves both hands into it real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Just the hiss of steam coming up, and then he like takes them out and shakes.
I think Zari will walk up and like gently grab his arm and like take a look at. Oh, these look so painful. Are you all right?
I'm fine. Tends to happen when I get angry.
It's very impressive. Has that happened long?
He mulls it over and he says, well, when I joined up with the crew, about a few weeks after, we got attacked by some more of those bug things, and it sort of happened.
So you have no idea what caused such a thing?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Well, I have some experience with the arcane. If you'd like, I could explore maybe some reasoning behind it.
Well, if you could reason it out, I would be very happy.
I would have to spend some time observing and talking to you about your past, if that's all right.
He grimaces a little bit. Maybe not then.
Oh. I mean, I don't want to pry, but if I can help in any way, I'm sure that
It's not you. Can't really talk about a past if you don't have one.
Oh. You have amnesia of some sort?
He'll give you a shrug.
Well, as I said, if I can help in any way, I have studied a little bit. Maybe we can have a conversation or two about it.
I may take you up on that offer when I'm not on shift.
Of course. I'm available anytime.
Give her a nod. Start slowly wrapping up his arms.
She'll give a slight curtsy and walk away.
Is that condescending?
Can I have an inspire?
Might be. You don't know.
Someone else, or like in another room. Fucking nobles. Okay. Anyone else want anything? Before
Yes,
we
can I
wrap
have
up?
been spying on them, please?
I'd like you to make a stealth check, and you guys can contest with perception.
Great. I never play stealthy characters. This is so
Oh, fuck.
22!
I can't find. I'm blind. Here we go. 17.
Yep.
I like to think that I was also going to find Samek and then probably saw and heard Sorry coming and just kind of casually ducked around the corner.
Yeah, you probably ducked behind a grouping of barrels in the hold and just silently kind of slid behind them as they had their conversation a few feet away from you. Conversation ends. They go their separate ways. I assume Simek goes back on back to his post, to his shift, to pick up the rest of it. Zari does whatever machinations Zari has planned next. Anyone else have anything they wanna do?
I really just want to picture Xander walking past as Anna E steps out and be like, hiding from Zari.
Whatever
It's
would
just-
give you that idea?
Because I found this spot around here, which is very good from hiding from her. She needs to lift stuff. It's a quiet space sometimes, trust me.
No, I won't tell if you won't.
Okay, secret cats. We needed some form of interaction in session 1, okay?
And with that, I think everyone has that interaction now. I think so. Okay. So, with nothing else, you all ride out the rest of the storm. Eventually, the buzzing and droning. Occasionally, you'll hear the thunk of something like attaching to the side of the ship for a few moments, and you'll hear something kind of skittering along the outside, and you'll hear like a, and then it detaches, and then it flies off into the mist, and that happens for a while. But after about an hour and a half, the Pharos comes slowly drifting out of this rolling fog storm. The sun once again warming the passengers of the crew of the ship currently on deck. The rest of you gathering the setting sunlight, or the having a chance below deck to breathe easy once again now that you have passed through the danger, knowing that there may be more to come throughout the remainder of your journey. And we're going to go ahead and end our session here for tonight, a little bit early, but thank you guys all for playing, and thank you everyone out there for bearing with us as we kind of learn the system. I think we got to explore like a lot of aspects of it. I have a list of things as a GM that I'm gonna look at and try to kind of expedite, and things that I know that I need to be looking at with this particular party. And yeah, awesome. Everybody doing okay? I'm gonna put on some peppier music as we do our cooldown here.
Oh yeah, I'm so hyped for this.
Yeah. So this epic fetch quest proceeds, we're not going to do this on stream because it would be too time consuming, but you guys will all level up this session, and then we will level you guys up every 2 sessions from this point. Kind of a pseudo milestone thing, so that we can kind of experience the first 5 or 6 levels of the Pathfinder system, get a chance to explore the leveling up and the character progression and all that, as we get to know the game a bit better. So now that we all feel super comfortable with our level 1 characters, let's add some more stuff onto it. Hopefully it's not too much. I don't think it's like too much per level, but you guys are obviously as free to use as much or as little as you want. Thank you everyone for hanging out with us in chat, especially those of you that know about this game a bit. Appreciate any of your insights. Obviously, we're going to run this game the best that we can. I'm going to run it the best I can as a GM. It's probably not perfect. There are probably a lot of rules that I'm going to miss, but I'm going to run this the way that's the most fun for you guys, and I will hack away anything that I need to make sure that this is a fun experience. So yeah, but we're going to learn the system. I'm not just going to totally destroy it, hopefully, based on my perspective of it. So, things coming up. We have, like I said at the top of the stream, we have Tidefall this coming Wednesday. The return after a bit of a hiatus. So come check us out at 8:30 Eastern time. Is the time changing or is it staying?
It should stay the same. We'll see if that remains the case. But yeah,
Okay.
for now, still 8:30 Eastern start.
Eastern time. So come hang out with that D&D 5th edition campaign, and then we've got another D&D 5e campaign that is coming to an end, or almost coming to an end. Saturday night, Sarthia is going to be wrapping up this coming Saturday, or is going to be wrapping up 2 Saturdays from now. Come join us for the penultimate episode this week at 3:00 Eastern time. We're going to be transitioning on February 1st. Just going to go and give a promo that the next season will be beginning the following week of the finale. It's going to be Saturday night's Thunderball, in which we are going to be playing a bunch of fantasy characters playing sports. And it's going to be a lot of fun. It's a game that we have created specifically for this. It's going to be wacky and wild and totally just crazy. So come hang out and join us for that. It'll be starting on February 1st. So if you didn't catch any of Saturday nights previously, come join us for that, because that is going to be an entirely new thing, new characters, new location. You won't have to have seen anything else. So come check it out.
And no prior sports knowledge necessary.
And no prior sports knowledge necessary either. Yeah. And then next Sunday, I believe we'll be back with the next session of Slang 101.
And LB will be back.
Yes. And oh boy, last one was fun. So we'll be returning for that this coming Sunday. So join us there. Does anybody have anything they want to plug or promote before we wrap up today?
You can catch LB and me this entire week over on Monday and Tuesday over at the Indoor Adventures channel. Monday's our homebrew campaign, and on Tuesday we are taking our Waterdeep characters and going to Ravnica. So that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. So yeah, more D&D fun for everyone throughout the week, all over the place. Come hang out with all these cool people. I think that's it though on our end. So we'll see everyone here in 2 weeks for the next session of The Pursuit of the Black Kestrel. And until next time, good game and good night, Internet.
Good night, Internet.
Good night, and